Okay guys, this is not normally the type video that I do, but I'm going to give it a shot. Several folks have asked me about my Pavo Pico from Beta FPV, and this is the box that it came in. I installed a Flywoo Naked 03 air unit into it for recording video. And I think, as everybody knows, this is a 75 millimeter tiny whoop. This is the carrying case that I use, and it's really handy because it fits the batteries. These are the ones I'm currently using, and these tend to work really well. These are 530 milliamp 2S batteries, and this is kind of a jerry-rigged case, but it works nicely. And I'm going to show you essentially what I did to modify this to hold the Naked 03 air unit. Is that I used a 3D pen with TPU filament, 1.75 millimeter, and filled in the areas because this case is made to support a cased DJI 03 unit. And to make the decased or naked version of the 03 air unit fit, if you can see, I've used a 3D pen, and I'm going to show you because I have just a tiny bit of movement left. And since folks had asked me, the naked unit should slide all the way forward and then all the way up against the frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to modify this, and then the other thing I thought I would show quickly is how to modify your battery carrier to carry the larger batteries. And I'm going to use the 3D pen to do that. The 3D pen I'm using is a MYNT3D Printing Pen, and it prints all types of filaments. It's easy to control. It's it's not going to look like a 3D printer with perfect linear lines, but it does a fair job of making small repairs. So let's give this a shot, and hopefully you can see I'm sliding the unit all the way forward and then lining it up and then just holding it in place. And what I'm going to do is now the 3D pen is warming up, and this is just a USB-C connection into a power supply. I've got it actually set on ABS, but this is TPU filament. You can see it's very flexible. And it's perfect because it provides a little bit of additional shock absorption as well. Okay, so that's very close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit more filament under this bottom edge. You can see it's got a little bit of movement there. And I'm also holding it all the way forward and aligning it. Okay, I think we're ready to go. See if you can see this, hopefully so. Now it does string out, and I let that dry, and then I just go back and I cut the string off, and I'm just holding it in place in the meantime. Now we'll trim these strings. Hey, I know this is probably not like some of the nice productions that some of the guys do, but this is pretty much how I've been doing it. Okay. That's locked in place. And you can see I've done that on the other sides. And it's easy. If I wanted to take any of this off, all I've got to do is just trim the TPU. You can see that this TPU filament is very flexible. So it's easy to trim, but it also gives stability support. And it's a nice repairable filament. I'm actually going to clean this off the tip. And I'm just using a silicone mat for protection. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do is to hook in one of the batteries. And this is the same thing, the GNB 530 milliamp hour 2S battery. And now I firmly have it seated in there. And this is simply a zip tie that has been cut off, nice flexible plastic. And we're going to, I've already cut the bottom part of the battery holder. And so now all I want to do is to get this connected. And actually, I probably want to slow down my speed a little bit. Oh, okay, it's heating up now. It went into a standby phase. All right, it's ready. Now what I'm going to do is take and clip it on this end. And we're simply going to fill in the small hole. Okay, temperature's still up, so it's ready to go. Yeah. All right, now we'll go put a little bit more on top. All right, that should do it. And then, so that's holding it nicely. And you still see I have some ability to move it. So now what I'm going to do is to do the other side. So you could really do this to put in any size battery you wanted and make your own frame, especially if you don't have a your own 3D printer. They do have some add-on frames, battery holder editions that you can print. So hopefully everybody can see that. I got a little messy on that one. But you can also go back with TPU. It's really easy to go back and and trim off any little bit of excess. Maybe if it's protruding a little bit, that's easy to clean up. I could even try using a slightly lower filament temperature. And it's always good to touch the plastic that you're starting the first line to, because this tip is so hot it'll melt a little bit of that plastic and create a nice bond with it. So don't get it on your fingers. All right. Okay, so we're going to let that dry for just a second. I can go back and clean up any of these little areas. Got a little bit on the battery there. Slide that out. That's not the straightest, but the nice thing is we can heat this back up and straighten that out a little bit. There. Okay, guys. Well, that's how you do the battery holder. Let me trim that off a little bit. Probably if I wasn't doing it under a camera, it might go smoother. And also how I secured in the decased Naked 03 air unit. So this thing flies beautiful. This is one of my favorite. I spent some time tuning it the other day. I've got it about 90%. I've got it now where you don't want much camera angle on this if you're doing indoor video filming. Oh my gosh, this thing flies so smooth and straight now.